the day after. The reason businesses are expecting a bump in Christmas gift returns this year. Time to change your plans. What happened at Austin's airport today for the first time in 8 years. And hate crime investigation.
They're outraged by this act.
The shocking surprise one priest found in his church's front yard nativity scene. New at 5, after a holiday respite, retailers fully staffed once again for a rush of Christmas gift returns. Good evening, I'm Melanie Lofton. Walt and Hema have the night off. Our own Fred Cantu is live in North Austin. Fred, there's a bit of risk involved for store owners who accept returned merchandise.
That's right. Nationwide, retailers expect to lose nearly $4 billion this holiday season on fraud involving returns of Christmas gifts. That's up $400 million from just last year. So they're going to do their best to try to protect themselves while pleasing their customers.
Thank you for calling Precision Camera and Video. This is Michael. How can I help you?
On this day after Christmas,
you're back.
I'm back.
Customers are keeping the sales staff busy with questions about their new gifts.
You don't need a Zoom. No, it's only when he's 2 years old when he's causing mischief.
But the staff believes they can change the customers' hearts and minds about returning their new camera with a little education.
They may have the opinion they're going to return something, but once they're educated, they can see the benefits of the item they've bought.
But if you're dead set on returning an item, stores will insist you return everything.
They do have to keep the packaging. They do have to keep the boxes, the warranty cards and instruction books. Otherwise, it's an incomplete item and the merchant cannot resell the items.
And if that happens, you could incur a restocking fee. Also, don't forget your receipt. It's more than a receipt. It's a contract of purchase.
It's important to read the contract of purchase because most stores will have a refund policy. In our case, it's within 14 days if you return everything complete and unused.
Your results may vary. One customer told us she noticed some stores cutting their customers some slack.
Yeah, especially during the holidays. I feel like other times a year people are a little tougher with the rules, but around Christmas, people usually understand that returning is part of the game.
And one more piece of advice is be prepared to show an ID. That's just in case the item you return turns out to be, well, not the item that you purchased. And coming up at 6 o'clock, we will show you the best time to show up for the shortest lines at the returns desk. Fred Cantu, KITV News.
All right, thank you, Fred. Having a little problem with the video there. But tonight, there is a chance for rain. But further ahead, some drastically different temperatures. Meteorologist Jordan Steele has the deets in your first forecast. Hey, Jordan.
Yeah, good evening, Melanie. Boy, it's another case of the up and down temperature trend. Check out currents right now, 70s for a good chunk of us. In fact, this warm weather stretches all the way up to North Texas. However, you go a little bit further, get up closer to the Panhandle, places like Amarillo, actually in the 30s here this afternoon. So it is looking like it is going to be one of those cases of major cool down after that front finally moves through. 31 currently reading out towards Amarillo, just to their south in Lubbock. 54, Abilene still close to 70. All that warmth will be shifting out towards the Gulf, but not till tomorrow. So if you're going to be out and about, maybe with the family tonight, actually looking pretty mild overall. Temperatures will stay in the 60s and eventually transitioning. Some spots could see a 30-degree temperature drop. You might not even get out of the 40s after the front moves through. We're going to track it with your hour-by-hour forecast, let you know what the rest of the weekend is shaping up like. Plus, New Year's Eve, another cold snap. It's looking dicey. We'll have it all coming up.
All right, thank you, Jordan. An East Austin home is a complete loss after a fire this morning. Firefighters responding to the call at 1003 Brass Street just after 7. Investigators say everyone made it out safely thanks to working smoke detectors. They tell us the fire started when a bathroom fan short-circuited. A danger that grows worse each day after Christmas. The city of Austin is helping by offering free Christmas tree recycling for the next 2 weeks. Now, there are 2 locations where you can drop off that drying pine: the Austin Community Landfill on Giles Road and the Williamson County Landfill. Firefighters say it's important to get your tree down sooner rather than later.
Just remember, as those trees dry out, they become less of that ornamental, wonderful Christmas tree and turn into, in effect, gasoline on a stick.
People who live in houses can leave their trees out front for curbside pickup. Happening right now, city crews working to repair a busted water main that shut down part of Mopac earlier this afternoon. Police closed down the northbound exit to Palmer Lane for about an hour. No word on what caused the rupture, but we'll bring you new details as we get them. If you're flying out of Austin's airport soon, find a ride. For the first time since 2007, parking is at full capacity. An ABIA spokesperson tells us that all airport parking lots, including the overflow ones, are completely packed, and off-site private lots are also filling up. You can check real-time conditions by calling 512-530-3300 or play it safe by getting a ride, taking a cab, or taking Cap Metro's airport flyer. In Texas news tonight, an investigation into a fatal police shooting just outside of Galveston. Texas City Police say they responded to a shots fired call outside of a bar early this morning. When they arrived, officers say the suspect started shooting at them. They returned fire and killed the man. Afterwards, a crowd gathered and started throwing rocks at police on the scene. Officers insist they did the right thing.
We do feel the individual that is deceased did have the handgun in his possession when he was fired upon by the officer.
Still no word on why the suspect was firing his gun in the first place. New York City police officers saying final farewells to one of their own today. Hundreds lined up outside the Queen's Church to pay respects at the wake for Officer Rafael Ramos. A gunman shot Ramos and his partner, Officer Win Janalou, in cold blood last Saturday. That suspect soon turned the gun on himself, but the damage was already done.
We love Rafael Ramos. He was a gift to our church. We loved his faithfulness and the way that he served people, and we're going to miss him a great deal.
Vice President Joe Biden will attend Ramos' funeral tomorrow, along with thousands of police officers from across the country, including some from Austin. Another record day on Wall Street today. The Dow jumped a modest 23 points to 18,053 points. It was the first day ever that the index started above 18,000. The Nasdaq also ended higher after racking up another 33 points today. New at 5, since the Great Recession ended, hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs have been added to the U.S. economy. But are those jobs helping to grow the middle class? Here's national correspondent Christine Frizzell.
A big part of our future has to be a robust and growing manufacturing sector.
In the 3.5 years since President Obama's speech there in Iowa, roughly 500,000 new manufacturing jobs have been created in the U.S. But those jobs are no longer the darling of America's economic engine. And that, says economist Darius Arani, will have broader implications.
We're concerned with this growing trend towards lower wage jobs. It means that basically at some point in time that spills into the rest of the economy.
Manufacturing was once an almost surefire bet to lift a family out of poverty. But the National Employment Law Project in its most recent report found more than 600,000 workers now earn $9.60 an hour or less. Even in the once dependable car parts sector, real wages started falling in 2003, and by 2013 had fallen a whopping 14%, with many jobs now going to temporary laborers.
Anyone's individual ability to earn money is going to depend upon the skills that they have and how high the demand for those particular skills are.
Despite poverty wages, states across the country are still battling each other for any type of new manufacturing jobs, offering generous subsidies and tax incentives, no matter the drain on city and state budgets.
And those individuals who have lower wage jobs are probably paying less into taxes, probably requiring more assistance from the federal government in forms of food stamps.
Economists say manufacturing jobs are a microcosm for most of the U.S. economy. And economist Irani says it's simply not sustainable. A country with only high and low paying jobs and nothing in the middle is a recipe for failure. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
The year in waste, why one federal agency spent millions to get monkeys drunk. And rivalry renewed. A report from Houston where the Longhorns are getting ready to take on a team they've met a few times before.
And we had a few showers today, much more to come as a big cold front's moving through. Temperatures are going to drop as much as 30 degrees in some spots. We'll track it, let you know the timing when it arrives. Coming up in your full Storm Tracker 7 Day.